Today's Odysseyware ELA, English Language Arts lesson, is in nouns and friendly letters. It is specifically in writing letters. This is assignment 13. In this lesson, you will review different types of letters that you may write. Even if the purpose of your letter is different, there are 5 parts that are always included. You review the parts of a letter so that you can write to someone you know. You will identify the types of letters to write, and you will construct a letter using the required parts. Each of these letters has 5 main parts. 5 main parts. Heading, greeting, body, closing, signature. The friendly letter is like a conversation on paper, and it is usually longer than a thank you letter. The thank you letter tells the reader more than just thanks. It can also tell about how special the gift of kindness was to you. So again, the 5 parts are heading, greeting, body, closing, signature. So the heading consists of an address, your address, and then it consists of the date. Then the greeting would say, "Dear so-and-so," whoever you're writing to. The body is just telling about whatever you're writing about. Hey, how you doing? This is what's going on. Thank you, if it's a thank you letter. The closing would say, "Sincerely yours," or "Lots of love," or anything like that. Your friend, comma, and then your signature would be your signature. Mrs. Wargo. And when we write our signature, we typically do write it in cursive. So we have our heading, our greeting, our body, our closing, and our signature, and they go in that specific order. Question 1 is a drag and drop. You are going to click an item in the list or group of pictures at the bottom of the problem, and holding the button down, you are going to drag it into the correct position in the answer box. You will release your mouse when the item is in place. If you change your mind, you're going to drag the item to the trash can. You will click the trash can to clear all your answers. Click on the name of each letter part and click again to place it next to its correct spot on the letter. So the words we actually have are body, and then we have a bunch of writing. Then we have Love Maria. And then there's some purple there. I think that might say love. And then there is just a head. And then maybe somebody like waving like, hello, how you doing? So maybe those would be useful to help you understand which each of them are and where they're going to go. So hopefully it seemed like it could be possibly a little confusing. So just kind of take your time on that. So as mentioned before, a friendly letter and a thank you letter are very similar in the fact that they still contain those 5 important parts. They still contain a heading, a greeting, a body, a closing, and a signature. So those are the only terms that we are going to be using when we talk about all of the pieces that we have to have in a friendly letter or in a thank you letter. So remember that those are part of a thank you letter as well. So a friendly letter and a thank you letter both have a body, closing, greeting, heading, and signature. Now those ones aren't in order, but they do have all of those 5 parts. Those ones in that list aren't in order. I'm not quite sure why. Maybe they're using them to do like a little worksheet there. Question number 2. Choose 3 important parts of a thank you letter. Question number 3. Jill is helping her little sister write a friendly letter. What part of the friendly letter will Jill need to teach her sister? You may choose more than one. Heading, body, closing, introduction. Which will she need for the friendly letter? Okay, so moving into what a heading looks like. So a heading, you have the person's name. The person's name needs to be capitalized. First and last names need to be capitalized. If they have like a Mrs. or a Mr. or in this case a doctor, that needs to be capitalized. Their street address. So you have your numbers, and then the name of the street is capitalized, and then the word street or avenue or road or drive also needs to be capitalized. Then you have the city. All words in the city need to be capitalized. Then we have a comma. Then the abbreviation for the state needs to be capitalized. Then the zip code. Then in the next line, we have the month, which needs to be capitalized, the date, which needs to have then a comma after that, and then the year. So in number 4, you are going to choose each of the headings that are written correctly. So you're going to choose each that are written correctly. Now notice at the bottom there, they are kind of out of order. I don't know if they're doing that to kind of trip you up, but make sure that you're careful there. Okay, so the last question is that we have is you're going to do matching with which each of these means. So I'm going to do a little review here. So I just want to remind you that the heading is your address and the date. The greeting is the word dear, like Dear Tom, the name of the person you're writing to. The body is the main part of the letter, like whatever you're telling them. Then you have your closing, and that's the polite way of saying goodbye. Like if you say, farewell, comma, sincerely, comma, all my love and wishes, comma, that's your closing. And then lastly, your name signed is your signature. So you need to make sure that you know each of those definitions for matching those up on your last question for the lesson check.